Hello everyone, welcome back to the Beauty Professor. I'm Miss G. Welcome. Today we are going to have a color science lesson, and while I'm giving the lesson, I am going to completely color correct my face. Now let me tell you a little bit about color correction. Color correction is simply using color to diffuse certain areas of distraction on your face. For example, I just sneezed and now I have a really red nose. So if you have allergies right now, you're blowing your nose a lot, under your nose is red, and maybe your makeup isn't doing a good job covering it, or you don't want to wear makeup, you can color correct that area. Dark circles. I love color science for dark circles and mature skin because you can now use shades of wax to color correct areas of distraction instead of using makeup underneath your eyes. As we get older, this area gets lots of texture, lines, wrinkles, milia, sun damage, and the more bright shade of, maybe you're wearing concealer, I hope you switched to Seint, but the more brightness you put on something, the more it becomes an area of attraction on your face. So if you have this dark shade and you're putting a lot of brightening color on it, you're not color correcting that in the first place. It's going to turn gray instead of bright. It's going to pop through. There's a better way to do this, ladies, by color correction, by using these colored waxes called Demi, and Seint makes these. It's the only company besides for one in France that is not available here in the United States, and it's not as good. This is the only company you can find these little waxes. You can find liquids. They do the same thing as concealer. They dry and crack. They settle into fine lines and wrinkles. Demi, it's an occlusive, so it's going to lay on top of your skin, and if you moisturize underneath it, it's going to hold the moisture in, and then it's going to just help plump up your fine lines and wrinkles, because whatever you're putting under here is going to work so much better. So I'm going to teach you a color science lesson and what is color science, and we're going to start. So first, let's prep my face. I like to hydrate my lips. This is often overlooked. Just use a little bit of this. This is City Lips. This is going to moisturize my lips. It has vitamin E and it has hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid is very moisturizing for the lips. And I use this as a night treatment every night on my lips to help fight the lines that we get from aging on our lips, and it helps lines around lips. So don't overlook your lips. While I'm doing my makeup, this has a plumping effect, and by the time I get to putting something on my lips, this is going to have plumped my lips and kept them moisturized. It stays on a really long time, so when I put on a lip on top of this, it acts like sort of like a primer, keeps it on my lip longer, I've noticed. It's really good. It's City Lips. I will put a link. Okay, so let's start. So let me get going. I feel like I'm going to battle. This is a color wheel. We learned about colors like this in grade school. Color wheel. The science behind color science is that if you choose a color on the color wheel and you go across from it, this shade, if you mix these shades, orange and blue, together, you get brown. So if you have an excess of blue underneath your eyes, you are going to use a shade of orange. If under your eyes is more purple, you're going to use a lighter shade of orange. Now, if we have a I have a blemish here. See how red that is? I have red under my nose and a red chin. If you have red, you look across the color wheel. Green is going to cancel that out. Okay, that's how this goes. So if you have an excess of yellow, some people get yellow out here. Across from yellow is purple. So you would use a light shade of purple. It's going to color correct. Now, you only use a little amount of this. This is not going to leave a purple mark on my face. It's not going to leave an orange mark on my face. If it is, you have the wrong shade or you're using way too much. This is meant to be used in a very light manner. I will be showing you all about that. So let's do my face. Let's prep my face. So I moisturized when I woke up about 3 hours ago. So I am going to add a little bit of moisture underneath my eyes. This is Embryolisse. Nothing goes on your face with Seint Makeup that has silicone or dimethicone. They don't mix with cream makeups. This does not have silicone. It does not have dimethicone. It has similar ingredients to Seint. It's super moisturizing and it has multi-purposes. So it not only is going to add some moisture underneath my eyes, it also acts as a primer. And I love that about it. It's a cult favorite. It's been around for years. I want to moisturize underneath my eyes. I want to give it a nice amount. I'm just going to rub that in, get the blood flowing. Now, if you've been following me, you know when I touch my skin, it turns red. It's reactive. So it's not the product causing my face to turn red. Okay, so this is Embryolisse. You can get this on Amazon. This tube runs around $16. I use it just under my eyes, or if I'm dry, I will use it on my face for extra moisture if I need it underneath Seint. It is good. Okay. Our next step, sunscreen. So the same thing. You want to use sunscreen that does not have silicone or dimethicone. So this is called Glow Screen. It has a little bit of light reflecting spheres to blur wrinkles, and it smells nice. I'm gonna be switching to something different here soon, but this is nice. If I'm trying things, I buy them on eBay so I can get samples. Or you can ask the company direct for samples. I do that a lot too, so then you know you're getting the true product. Okay, so it's called Glow Screen because it gives your skin a little bit of glow. It's pretty on the skin. And who doesn't want a little bit of glow under their makeup? Sunscreen. Gotta do it, ladies. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna put my hair back because we're gonna get down and dirty. Here we go. The next thing I do to get my skin ready, I'm pushing all my hair back, is I use Seint's setting spray. It has hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, and aloe vera, and some other good ingredients. Water's in this, so you don't have to worry about putting water on your face to help the hyaluronic acid work. When I put this down, this is going to give my face hydrating ingredients so that when I do put my Seint makeup down, Seint and Demi, it's an inclusive. It holds whatever is underneath my makeup. So I want to hold this good stuff underneath my makeup. It's gonna help prime my face. It's the only primer I recommend. You don't need primer with Seint. Use the Embryolisse and this, and you're good to go. Okay, now the trick with this is if you just squeeze it a little bit, it comes out like a squirt. But if you spray it full force, it comes out. Let me get one more here. It comes out in a nice spray. And then I have all those good for you ingredients on my face. I use a fan when I'm working. Let me get it. I use a fan to speed the drying process up when I'm working in front of the camera so we don't have to wait. In fact, I'm just going to stop. Okay, we're all dry. Now, as far as setting sprays, there are not setting sprays out there for cream makeup. So you definitely want to use Seint's Primer Setting Spray because it is meant for cream makeup. There's no dimethicones, there's no silicones. It is meant to work underneath and on top of Seint to give you the best results. Okay, so now my skin is nice and hydrated. It has this nice glow. We can get started with color correcting. So there are 3 brushes with color correcting. It's like getting 6 because all of Seint's brushes are dual-ended. So you have to have the correct brushes to do the job. There's just no way around this. Seint is different. It is wax. It is not powders. It is not liquids. You have to have brushes that are meant for wax so that the product easily slips off the ends. If not, you're not going to get a true application. And this is so important with color correction. You also want to keep these ends nice and clean in between application because, again, it's a wax. It's going to make your bristles stick. So this is the blur brush. Now remember, the bigger the head, the bigger the area. So I like to use this under the eyes, right in here. This is the spot brush. This is going to be great for getting this little spot here, any sort of little blemish you have. And this is the bright brush. This is great for a small little area, maybe right in here, maybe a little bit of green right in here. And then we have, I didn't pull it, but we have one more right here. It's called the wash brush, and it's a bigger brush, but you could use this if you have a patch of melasma to do a bigger area. So that is the Demi brushes. You choose the brush for your problem. So the next step is to look at your face and choose the distraction that is bothering you the most. That there's 2 ways to go about this. You can do a full face of Demi and wear like a BB cream or a CC cream, or take your Seint Makeup and mix it with moisturizer first and put it on your face. And you can just do a full face of Demi, put a little bronzer on, a little bit of lip, and you have a very natural looking face. Should I do that? I don't know. We'll decide as we go. And then there is your distraction is so dark that makeup isn't covering it. So if you have just say this red right here, if I use my buff brush with my main highlight, it's going to cover that. Okay, the 3D brush is going to cover that. And this is not an area of distraction. There's no texture here. So my makeup is going to cover that. I'm talking about birthmarks, scars, dark sunspots, a big freckle, maybe a mole, things that distract you, things that bother you. Maybe you have a large patch of broken capillaries and your makeup isn't covering it, or maybe you just want to color correct that and not wear makeup that day. You just want to get rid of that distraction. So there's those possibilities. So my biggest distraction are these dark circles. I do not like them. My highlight, if I put that just on there, it's not going to color correct that. It's not going to cover that. It's going to be gray. And as we mature, like I said, this gets a lot of wrinkles. It moves in here. We are better off, this is the future, ladies, if you have mature skin, we are better off to color correct this and leave it alone. Do not put any concealer or any highlight on here at all. Just color correct it. Now, if you don't have any problems here, then put your highlight there. Just do it lightly. The less makeup around your eyes, the better you are, okay? So remember that the less layers around your eyes, the better it is. It's not going to bring the distraction. It's going to be less product. So there's not going to be as much creasing, all right? Very important. So, yeah, I don't like these dark circles. So I'm going to pick the darkest area under that I want to correct. And it's usually, if you have dark circles, it's this dark, scary area right there. This is very aging, makes us look very tired. That is a good place to correct. Now, your darkness might be more dark than mine. You might have darker skin tone than I do. You might have lighter skin tone than I do. All of those things play a factor into which shade you are going to choose. A lot of the time, you have to practice or play around in it or work with me one-on-one and I can help you. But once you get it down, you have it down, okay? And it's so worth it. So I know what colors work on me. It did take me some practice, but I got it down. So let's look. My skin, when we look at it, I'm wearing my favorite color is orange. I have like a pinkish, orangish color of skin. So that is my skin tone. Our veins, all of our veins, are blue underneath our skin. But depending on what skin tone you are, it's going to change the color coming through. Our skin, gets very thin under the eyes. So it's like shining a flashlight through that skin. It's not going to be white. It's going to shine the color that your skin is. So if I put blue underneath this orangey skin tone, that is why I'm showing purple. Okay, so here's orange. Here's purple. That's what I'm showing in here, like this shade, but darker. Across from that, across from purple, it's hard for me to see without my glasses, is oranges. So depending on how dark that purple would depend on how light of an orange or how dark of an orange you need to go, okay? All right, so this area, I consider that a dark area. That is dark purple. Right here is dark purple. Okay, let's look at our shades now. So let me show you. This is a Demi palette. You'll see them down below. Some of them are on sale. I think this is the largest one. I don't have the entire collection, but this is what it would look like. They are colored little waxes. They last forever. You will get a color wheel to help you. So this is what it looks like. But I don't use these shades on a daily. A lot of them make great eyeliners. A lot of them make great lip and cheeks, like this one and this one. You could use them as a wash of color on your eyes. There's many purposes you can use these for. I know the ones I use on a daily, so they are in my main compact, and they are these four. Okay, let's do this. So I am going to color correct this spot. So I'm going to use the bright brush, and it's funny because I really need to brighten up that area. It's a great brush. It's got a smaller end than the blur brush, so it's going to be perfect for this area. It's going to pick up the amount of product. So I have, these are just plain orange. They're called 0301. The numbers represent the amount of pigment in the product. So if it's 1, that means it has the least amount of pigment. So that would be 10%. It's going to be the lightest of the oranges. This is 03. This means 30%. There are darker, even darker shades of oranges. I don't need those, okay? So since this is a darker area, I'm going to be using 03. Now I'm just getting the smallest amount on the end of my brush. And I am just going to build. So let's watch this. Maybe I should do this eye since I have that red there. Let's do this eye first. So let's go in here. And I am just tapping it in. Tap, tap, tap until everything is off my brush. See how that's covering that? Now let's look. That dark, scary spot, that dark, scary spot. That was all it took, just a little bit. And that's all you want to use, is just a little bit. So now I'm going to go back into that 03, and I'm going to do this dark, scary spot. And I'm just putting it where I need it. I'm not doing my entire eye, just where I need it. So I'm diffusing it, going into 03 and picking up a little bit on my brush. The purple is going away. So just dabbing it on, I'm putting on the least amount possible. When my glass is off, it's hard for me to distinguish 03 between 01. I have to be careful. Okay, so we will be brightening this up a little bit more. I'm just going in and dabbing in until that color is diffused. Okay, that dark scary spot, that dark scary spot, this dark scary spot, that dark scary spot. See how easy that was? Okay, I'll be right back. I need my tile to clean. This is an eye shadow cleaning tile, but it also works good to clean your brush in between shades with Demi. It does a nice job. It's also great for your eyeshadows. I can't live without these anymore, and they fit magnetically right into your compact. So you can watch me do it. If you're new to Seint. If you're new to Seint, you probably want to watch this later. This is more for my ladies that have been wearing Seint, or you just want to learn about color correction. So you might be an artist learning, and you're welcome here to learn from me. Okay, so that is gone, that is gone. I still have that. Okay, now let's look. Let's look for some more blue. I have a little blue right here, a little purple right there. Let's go in. It's not as dark, right? So I'm looking for the biggest distraction. Okay, so that's not really the biggest distraction. I guess this area is. So I'm going to shade up to 01, meaning, and I'm switching brushes to the blur brush because I want to blur this out. Larger the area, the larger the head. And this is just meant for Demi. Okay, so I am going to color correct this area, and I'm just, see how I just dabbed it on? That's what you want to do. Pick it up, dab it on, dab, dab, dab. Put some right out here. I have that blue vein out here. Okay. Now we're going to go press this in. So it's none of this motion. You don't want to move your Demi. You want to push it into the skin. And it's just a little bit. So I just did this outside area. Okay. This outside area, that outside area. It's so fun. I love doing Demi. Okay, now this spot right here is the most distracting area. I put 03 on it. I'm going to bring it up to this shade. So I'm going to go back in to 01. So I'm dabbing into 01. You can just see how that brought that up. I want to bring that up to the same shade out here. And it does such a pretty job. And then I'm just dabbing this in. And then when I'm all done with color correction, maybe I just need a little bit more. Now, if you're getting results like this, you don't have to put your highlight over this. You're just gonna leave this alone. It's not gonna move. It's not gonna settle into your wrinkles. Now, if you put too much on, it'll crease. So don't put too much on. Through the blending process, I sometimes need to go back and pat a little bit more. But notice it is a pressing motion. This is so important. You have to press it in. You have to press it. Okay? All right. Now let's look. This under eye. This under eye. Is that impressive or what? This is why I love color science. Now these are just wax. They're colored wax. They're an occlusive, so they're gonna hold all that moisture in that I put under here. So it's gonna help plump up the wrinkles. It's giving me a treatment all day while I'm wearing my makeup. Your skin's gonna get better while wearing Seint because of that reason, since it is an occlusive. Okay, this is Seint's brush cleaner. I use this a lot on my Demi brushes. I just squirt it on a towel. I just ordered some more. And then I just clean the Demi off. I want my brushes clean for this. And they dry immediately. They disinfect your brushes. And I inhaled it, but it's good stuff. Okay. Let's do this eye. I might as well clean the end of this brush since I have it right here. And there's enough on here to do it. Okay. Let's go in into the dark, scary spot. Now, when I put my eyeshadow on, you see me always put a bright reflecting shade there. If you have this dark area, make sure you do that. Put a little bit of shimmer there. That's gonna top it off and seal the deal, so all that darkness is gone. Okay, so we're gonna go into 03 with the spot brush. Now, these are all in the guides, so you can watch them over and over and over again. Maybe you've purchased these. You can always go back into these guides and watch this. This is why I put them here, so I don't have to continually make these. I can just guide you to the guides. So the guides, up here in this corner, there are 3 lines. Pull that down, and then you're gonna see guides. And then you'll hit guides and then go down to color correction. Okay, so that's where you'll find it. Okay, so we'll go to the deep dark spot. I'd also like to mention I can't see, so if you see me coming up really close, it's because I need to wear my glasses. I use a 10 times magnification mirror when I do my makeup, so my makeup could be a lot better if I was working in a mirror. It's difficult to work in a camera when you cannot see without your glasses. Okay, so I'm just dabbing this into that dark corner. Now it's not dark anymore. It's all bright and light and pretty, like the other one. Okay, so I'm going to use the same brush and 03, meaning orange with 30% pigment, and I'm just filling in this area of dark. Just coloring it in with a dab. See, I'm dabbing it. I'm not pressing it in. It's a tiny amount. And that is it. Okay, now I'm going to switch brushes to the blur brush. I'm going to go into 01 because now I need less pigment because this area wasn't dark like that, but it still has some discoloration. I want to brighten up. So now I'm just pushing this in. This is a great brush. I'm going to say it again. You need the correct brush to do the correct job, the correct way. There's no getting around this. So the brushes are on sale right now. A lot of these Demis are on sale too. And you can also purchase the Wide Awake Edit. It's under collections, and that'll give you a lot of shades that you can practice with and you can use in other areas of your face. That's the way I would do it. Okay, so I'm dabbing in again. I'm just gonna get a little bit more in this corner, and then I'm just gonna go on top of this dark just to bring it all up to the same shade. Oh, wow, that looks so much better. So I'm gonna look in my 10 times magnification mirror here. I like to check my work up close just to make sure everything is blended. And I'm just tapping it all in. I still have that red spot I'm gonna correct. But as far as this purple, it is color corrected, it's diffused, and I'm ready to move on. So I've decided I am just going to show you how to use Demi on your whole face to look pretty without using makeup. We'll just use Demi. Okay, so now the most distracting thing, because I'm not going to be using any makeup at all, is this red around my nose, red under my lip, red chin, and that red spot. So I'm going to go after that next. I'm like to go color to color. I don't want to switch colors. Let's go ahead and just color correct the eyelids, since I am not going to wear any makeup. So I'm going to go into 01. This is purplish red up here. I'm just going to color correct it. It doesn't need much. This is the blur brush, but it does a very nice job. So that is just a light dusting of 01, and see how, look at that eye, and it is just, see, I'm pushing it in. Does such a nice job. Now if you use eyelash serum, you might have darker eyelids, you might want to use some green up here, or I like Aspen contour for the eyelids. All right, but we're not doing makeup. We're just doing my best friend, Demi. Okay, so let's move on to this green. So let's do, I'm gonna clean my brush. Let's fix that little red spot. So I'm gonna clean this orange off my brush. And I'm gonna go in, look at our color wheel again. So here's our color wheel. That's a tiny, tiny red spot. But I want to color correct it. Across from red is green. We have a few green shades. This is called YG1. And I like to use YG1 because it also has, the Y means yellow. So that's going to get rid of any purple that might be there too. So it's really good for broken capillaries, and it works really well on my type of red. There's, I think, just G1. There's just a couple, there's the different ones. So I put a little bit of that on with the spot brush, and I'm just going to tap that in with the other side. And poof, it's gone. Okay, so now I am going to go in with the blur brush, clean off. This is why I like to work on one shade at a time, so you don't have to keep cleaning your brushes. Now I'm going to go into YG1, and let's correct some of this red. So under here is the most distracting now to me. So I'm going to go in, dab with my blur brush, and I'm going to knock this out. So what's nice about Demi is I'm correcting the areas of distraction, then my skin can just shine through, and it just looks like I have pretty skin. It won't look like I am wearing much makeup. I'm going to show you a full Demi, face of Demi though today. Okay, so I'm just dabbing it around my red. It's doing a great job. Now, if you can see green sitting on your skin, you've put too much on or you haven't blended it in. And a little red down the nose. I'm just tapping. It does such a great job on this. A little here, a little bit there. A little red everywhere. Okay. Now I have, the biggest distraction is my chin. So we're going to use the same brush, the blur brush, and I'm just going to dot this on, and then we'll just blend it out. So I'm just tapping it in and see how it immediately, but I'm going to say this again. If you don't want to do color correct, this is a minimal amount of red. If you don't want to do this, if you're just wearing your Seint 3D makeup, it's going to cover that amount of red. This amount of red is not a big deal. Especially if you use, if it's a little bit more red, you could use the buff brush for more full coverage. It's definitely, it would cover that. But I'm going for a no makeup look today. Just some Demi. Okay, so now my biggest distraction, it used to be those under eyes, and then it used to be that red blemish, and then it was a little right under my nose. Get a little bit more here. Now it's kind of this red spot right here. Let's color correct that. YG1, meaning yellow green with 10% pigment. And then I have a little bit of red out here. And now here. I love how it just pops up. Like it wasn't a problem before. What was the problem before was those dark circles. But then after that was fixed, then the redness starts to show. And it's just the smallest amount here with this green because it does such a nice job. And it's such a minimal amount of red, I don't need much. So I'm just doing a thin coating just to even out this. I have some broken capillaries right here, a patch of them, so I like to hit it with YG1. And a little bit on the end of the nose here. So YG1 on these eyelids because they were red, color corrected my chin, that terrible red nose, and that blemish. It's great for dark birthmarks. Maybe you have a darkness of red in a scar. It's great for that. Rosacea. It's fabulous for. I'm seeing a little bit of red right here. Okay, so that is YG1 color correcting red. So that was this shade. Okay, so now let's color correct some melasma and some sunspots. Now sunspots can get a little bit more difficult because we have to think of, let's find some. I have a patch of just sun damage here. I have some sun damage here. I have melasma around here, some melasma up here. So what I like to do is just like do a light wash of my melasma just to knock some of that brown away, and then I like to color correct some of the spots. It's a little bit more difficult because this is where you need to know your skin tone. R1 works really well for me. So on the color wheel, we think of any color of brown on the face as excess green. Okay, so brown equals green. Across from brown is red. So we have shades of red. They look pink. This is R1, meaning red with the lightest amount of pigment. It looks pink, but I'm fair skin. It does a terrific job at color correcting my spots. Now you might need a little bit more than R1 to color correct a darker sunspot. There is a wide awake, another edit, I forget the name, that you can purchase for, I forget the name. Shoot, I don't know. There's another one for sunspots. I think it's Age Rewind Edit. I think that's it. So let's get rid of some of these brown spots on my face. So I'm going to use my magnification mirror here to find them. All right, so there is a spot above my lip right here. It's more of a freckle. I want to get rid of that. So I'm going in with my spot brush. I'm going to knock that out. And I just like to tap it in. Right there. I have a freckle right here. I'm just using the smallest amount, just tapping it in, and it disappears. So those are gone. I have, let's see, a brown sunspot right here. It's very light. I'm just putting some right there and dabbing that in. Oh, that's gone. Let's look at the other side. All right, so over here I have patches, just like dabbled little spots. So I'm just gonna be going quickly over them, just dabbing this on top and then I go back and blend later. This works on moles. So I have one here. I have one here. I have some sun damage right here. I put some extra right there. Okay, I have a good one. Maybe this one will show up here, right here. I'm gonna tap that in. And a little one over here, and here, and here. So you can go drive yourself crazy doing this, but you just pick out the ones that distract you. So I'm just gonna go push this in on the outside here. Now, my skin looks pretty fresh and happy, and I would feel very comfortable going into public with this on my face. You may have more, you may not, but you gotta wear your sunscreen, ladies. Okay. Now, I fixed those major spots. I like to use R1. I'd like to brighten up this area. So I'm gonna go in with my bright brush and pick some up under here. And I'm just going to brighten up this area here on the outside. And wherever you put R1, it's like a great skin brightener. See the difference here to here? It just is so pretty on the skin. I'm gonna go just pushing it in. I also like to brighten up my nose with this, just like you would use a highlight. I use R1 instead. And right here, I'm gonna put some on the top of my eyelids, on my eyebrow bones, just to brighten that up. And then I'm just gonna brush it right here. Okay. Now we can add some structure to the face. We can bronze. We can pick a color on our cheeks. And this, I'm not wearing any sort of foundation on my skin. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. So next I'm just gonna bronze. My bronze brush, I'm going into Bella. Both of these are Bella. I just put 2 there. And I'm going to start adding some structure to my face, some warmth. Oh, I put a little bit too much right there. It's okay, I can blend it in. I'm going down the sides here. Just gonna brighten this all up, give me some warmth just over my nose, a little bit right here, everywhere the sun would hit. How about my lip? That's why I have sun damage there. Brr. And then down my nose. Let's go in and press this in. So I love Bella Bronzer. It is beautiful. It is the perfect shade to give you that warmth. I like to keep that center there bright. So just pressing this through, warming up my face. That's too much in. All right, now let's contour. So I'm gonna use that wash, here it is, the wash brush. I'm gonna use the small end of it. So this is a Demi brush, and this is Demi. Oh look, NV1. Wait a minute, what is this? Just NV. So this is a great little Demi to put some structure in. So I'm going to put some nice little cheekbones in here. There we go. cheekbones in here. And remember, we're dabbing everything because we don't want to move our Demi. Let's put a little structure back here. The outside of my forehead, just like you're contouring, we're just using Demi. These are nice too if you have limited space in your compact and maybe you're going on a trip and you want to take your contour but you don't have room for it. You could get NV and use it. It's a little darker, so you're going a little lighter. And let's do a little bit down the side of the nose. Just a little bit. See, it's nice for contouring the nose. I'm just going a little bit in here. Here. This Demi's pretty amazing. Now, it's not going to crease. It's not going to settle into fine lines and wrinkles. You cannot see this sitting on my makeup. So when I get up close, you're going to be like, I don't see any makeup. It's crazy. You do not see it. If it creases, just pat it in a little bit because we haven't set it yet. Okay, not a big deal. Okay, let's do underneath the lip. And a little down the jawline. So since this is highly pigmented, you just use a little. I'm just going to create the shadow down here. I love what that does. Right? So now we can pick out a blush. Thinking, since I have orange on, I don't want to do too much orange. Let's do this one on the cheeks and this one on the lips. Okay. Well, we might use a combo. So these are shades of R. So this one is R3. So maybe your sunspot is a little darker. You could try R3. And this is probably R5. Yep, this is R5. But these make beautiful lip and cheeks. So let's start with R3. And it's so pretty on the cheeks. So I'm just going to dab in with my wash brush and just give myself a wash of color right here. And back here, smile and get this right here. Now this looks very natural. You cannot see this on the skin at all. See the other side? Taking my blush up high, let's take it up into here. I'm pretty. So this is R3. And the other benefit of putting this on your face is that it is color correcting any sun damage you might have on your cheekbones. So let's put a little color up here, up here. You're pretty. Okay, let's add a little bit of R5 just to the back here. Just for some lift. Okay, let's put R5 on our lips. So I have the City Lips on there, so it's nice. So this is not matte and it's not a gloss. It's somewhere in between, and it has longevity, so it's going to stay. I'm just using my finger today. Very pretty color. This would be, I have warm skin, so this would be prettier on cool skin. It's kind of like baby watermelon. it's on the lips. Full face of Demi. Okay, let's add a little bit of glow. So we would use illuminator. So we're going to use Demi's Balm, which is this one. It now comes in a full size. Hallelujah. I use this on my eyebrows. I love this. So wherever you put this, you're going to get some beautiful glow. So let's put it right here. So it's just putting extra moisture. It's so pretty on mature skin. I like to put it up here around my eyebrow. Very pretty. And up here. So wherever you put it, you're just gonna get a little glow. I'm gonna put a little bit on my cheeks because I always like to have a little bit of shine on my cheeks. Leave my nose alone. So see how it puts that shine, extra moisture on there. Okay, this is 05. I'm gonna add a little bit to my lips to warm this up. It's a little bit too cool for me. I like it on my cheeks though. Let's just warm this up a little bit. There we go. That's better. Our 05. So I used 01, 03. This is the next darkest orange. And it makes a beautiful lip. Pretty on the cheeks too. Now I like some extra moisture on my lips, so I'm gonna put some Seint's gloss right here. Just add that in. That's that. Okay, now we're gonna do eyes with Demi. So I put R1 and then I color corrected with 01 on my eyelids. Now we're just going to use some of these shades on her eyes. Okay, so let's go in. Bronzer is really pretty on the eyes. You can always use bronzer, but let's do, like I said, I'm going to do all Demi with just a little bit of art. This is NR, so it would be called neutral red. So I'm going to go in with my blur brush, and then I'm just going to put a coat of this on my lids. It's very pretty. This would be, if you have a lot of texture on your eyelids, that's when you want to switch to creams. I haven't gotten into them yet with this group. I just ordered some cream eyeshadow off of Seint, so I want to practice with them. This is very pretty on the eyes. I'm just going straight across the lids. Very pretty, like that. And then I'm going to clean my brush here. Let's go into this shade right here. I have to look because I don't have all these memorized. This is OR1, meaning orange red with 10% pigmentation. I'm just going to put this as a transition shade right up here. Now most people don't do Demi on their eyes. I'm just showing you a full face of Demi. You totally can. It's so easy. We will be setting this because our eyes move so much, and these are creams. They will crease. So pretty up there. That was my transition shade. And then I put R1 on top. Let's put a little bit of a lighter one on top. Now this one is called, this is how I like to play makeup, R01. So R01, I'm going to use just on the tops of the brow bone. Very pretty. Very easy. Very natural looking. And then I am going to line my eyes and I'm going to be done. Well, then we need to set it and then I'll teach you how to do that. So this is NV. It's our darkest one. I used it to contour with, so it's going to be very nice and natural. I'm going to use the multitasking brush, this small little end, and I'm going to be using my mirror. I'm just going to line the eye for some depth. This makes nice eyeliner. I just put it on my face over here. I'm just going to line the eyes. So if you have severe dry skin, all these are very moisturizing. Give myself a little flick and then just work it into the lashes. Let's do this side. Now up close, you can't see this on my skin. I've color corrected everything. Just looks like I've done my eyes, but very naturally. Putting this on. And then let's switch shades and put a little bit underneath the eyes. Let's go back to the NR that I was using on my lids. This one. Use it underneath the eyes. So just give it some definition. I'm just going to smoke it out. Looks just like a natural shadow under here. It's very pretty as an eyeliner. All right. Now, let's look. Pretty cool. So now we're gonna set under here and on top. So I'm gonna use my finger with vanilla dust. I'm just going to use the smallest amount under my eyes, but I don't want this to move. And I like our vanilla dust because it is so light to work with. It's not gonna put a lot on there, but you can use your normal setting powder too. I like the pink. It's my favorite. It's youthful. So I'm just setting this, just tapping this in. So this is not going to crease. And just a little bit, so we don't want that texture showing. But I did put all that extra moisture on underneath. So this should do a nice job. Okay, now on the eyelids, same thing. I'm going to tap this on my eyelids just so it doesn't crease. And it will crease if you don't set it. That's why people stay away from creams on their eyelids, because they crease so badly. But if you set it with a little powder, it's going to help. And there we have it. Let me brush my hair out and show you the final look. Okay, so this is the final look of Demi. All Demi. Very natural looking. Can't see it up close. You can't even see it laying on my skin in 10 times magnification mirror. I'm going to take this outside so you can see what it looks like in the daylight. Okay, so it's raining. I'm not going out there, but this is by a window, all natural light. I'm going to get in close so you can see underneath my eyes how nice just that Demi did correcting. What do you guys think? It's very nice, very natural. Looks like I just have pretty skin with a little color on my lips, a little color on my cheeks, and a little bit on my eyes. Okay, if you would like me to help you color correct, contact me. I would love to help. Have a good day, and tomorrow I will be back. We are going to do some regular Seint makeup. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.